Okay, yes, another video on this, as it's been bugging the hell out of me as to what's going on. First up, I'm going to say 49er and Irish Dave, you're dead right. The system is bleeding back from the power supply into the battery. When I tested that last time, I think you remember the battery was at 11.85 volts, the power supply 12 volts. I hooked directly from the power supply to the battery and was pulling about 460 milliamps pumping up the battery, so the voltages would even out. I then disconnected it, hooked it up to the system I have here, and had absolutely no current draw from the power supply or any current going into the battery, and the battery wasn't lifting up in voltage. So I then decided that no, it wasn't bleeding through the system and going into the battery. What I failed to take into account was the 0.6 volts lost across the half of the bridge rectifier that I'm running through. So when you take 0.6 volts off 12, of course you get 11.4 volts. The battery was already at 11.84 volts, so of course there was going to be no current draw from the power supply because the voltage being delivered was already lower. The current couldn't go back from the battery to the power supply because of the bridge rectifier, of course. So in regards to it putting out more than it's putting in, well, what I've come up with was supplying the 12 volts in at 10 to 20 milliamps, or say 20 milliamps, going out into the battery, and then on top of that, that small collapsing voltage from the coil is also being delivered into that, where I think that is where the small amount of extra current is coming from. So just letting you know, you were correct, 49er and Irish Dave, in saying it was bleeding through. My mistake, forgetting to take into account the voltage loss across the bridge rectifier, but as far as I can tell, the extra voltage out is coming from the collapsing magnetic field around the coil, sending that small voltage spike through as well. So that, added to the power coming from the power supply, is why we're getting more out than in. That's what I've come up with. Let me know what you think on that.